Hello everyone, you are on the channel. It's funny to tears. Today we're diving into the hilarious world of travel mishaps and the wonderfully confused tourists who make our trips so memorable. We've all been there, right? Staring at a map upside down, trying to order coffee in a language we definitely don't speak. Or just standing in the middle of a busy square, completely lost but trying to look cool about it. My first confused tourist moment happened in Tokyo. I was trying to navigate the subway system, which, if you've been, looks like a bowl of multicolored spaghetti. I was so confident I walked onto a train, the doors closed, and I realized I was on the express to a city 2 hours away in the opposite direction. The locals on the train were so kind, but the look of pure panic on my face must have been priceless. I spent the next 4 hours on a scenic, unplanned tour of the Japanese countryside. It wasn't in my itinerary, but it's a story I tell all the time. And it's not just about getting lost. What about the language barrier? I once watched a friend in Italy try to ask for a glass of water. He was so animated, making drinking gestures, wave motions, and even splashing sounds. The waiter, bless his heart, watched this whole performance with a straight face and then brought him a single, tiny ice cube on a plate. The timing was perfect. The delivery was flawless, and the entire cafe erupted in laughter. My friend just stared at the ice cube, defeated. It's in those moments you realize that a little confusion can lead to the best kind of comedy. Food is another classic minefield for tourists. You point at something on the menu that looks familiar, feeling adventurous. Then, a dish arrives that looks nothing like you expected. I remember seeing a tourist in Vietnam order what they thought was a simple chicken soup. When it came, it was a local delicacy involving ingredients they had definitely never seen before. Their eyes went wide, and they took the smallest, most hesitant bite in human history. The suspense was killing me. They tried to maintain a brave face, nodding to the chef, but their expression screamed, "What have I done?" We've all taken that brave, confusing bite, haven't we? Then you have the cultural differences, which are a goldmine for funny situations. I saw a tourist in London try to high-five one of the Queen's guards. You know, the ones who stand perfectly still and are not supposed to react to anything. This guy walked up, full of confidence, raised his hand for a high-five and just held it there. The guard didn't even blink. The tourist stood there for what felt like an eternity, his hand just hanging in the air, before he slowly, awkwardly, put it back in his pocket and walked away. The secondhand embarrassment was so strong, but I couldn't stop laughing. It was a perfect clash of cultures. Another classic is dealing with currency. I was in line behind a couple who were trying to pay for souvenirs with a handful of coins from at least 5 different countries. They were trying to convince the cashier that a Canadian loonie was basically the same as a euro. The poor cashier was just shaking his head, looking completely bewildered, while the line behind them grew longer and longer. It's that universal moment of panic when you realize you have no idea how much money you're actually holding. And let's not forget the selfie stick warriors. You see them everywhere, oblivious to the world around them. I once saw a guy so focused on getting the perfect angle with a famous statue that he slowly backed into a fountain. The splash, the shock, the ruined phone. It was a complete story in 3 seconds. He emerged soaking wet. But you know what he did first? He checked to see if the picture was okay. That's dedication. That's the spirit of a truly committed, if slightly confused, tourist. But my all-time favorite story comes from a friend who went to a farm stay in the Australian outback. He was a city guy, through and through. The farmer told him, "The dunny is out back." My friend, having no idea what a dunny was, spent 20 minutes searching the backyard for a donkey named Danny. He was calling Danny, Danny boy. The farmer eventually found him and had to explain, through tears of laughter, that a dunny is the Australian slang for an outdoor toilet. My friend said he had never felt so foolish or laughed so hard at himself. These moments are what make travel so special. It's not about the perfect photos or sticking to a rigid plan. It's about the unexpected detours, the language mix-ups, and the hilarious misunderstandings. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone and being a little bit lost. These confused tourist moments become the best stories, the ones that connect us and remind us not to take ourselves too seriously. They are quite literally funny to tears. What's your funniest confused tourist moment? I would absolutely love to hear it. Drop your story in the comments below, because sharing these embarrassing moments is half the fun. Let's all have a good laugh together at our own expense. Thank you so much for joining me on the It's Funny to Tears channel today. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the world of human hilarity. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and embrace the confusion. Bye for now.